My honor to present, to introduce to you the recipient of the 2014 Jimmy Carnes Lifetime Achievement Award. In 1988, this award was created to honor a man who became synonymous with track and field in the United States, Olympic coach, first president of USA Track and Field, former coach at the University of Florida, former coach at Furman University, former coach, high school coach, and this award, over those years now, has become our most prestigious award. Making the presentation, assisting in this, will be last year's winner and recipient, Dick Roberts, the former track coach at FSU. So at the end, Dick will come up and actually make the presentation. This year's recipient is Roosevelt Richardson, Jr. out of Miami. Roosevelt has given 43 years of his life to track and field. Distinguished graduate from Grambling State University, also recognized by Grambling State as one of their distinguished alumni. As a junior college coach at Miami-Dade North, he produced 33 junior college All-Americans. He was 6-time junior college coach of the year. He sent 116 of his athletes on to 4-year universities. That is their job, get them ready to go to a 4-year school. Well, 116 of those athletes continue their career on scholarship at 4-year university. He has moved on to Florida Memorial, an NAIA school, for his last 16 years, has produced 43 NAIA All-Americans. In his total track career, he has coached 6 Olympians. He has been awarded Coach of the Year at the junior college level 8 times over his career, another 6 times at the NAIA level. In 1988, he was inducted into the Florida Track and Field Hall of Fame. Over these 43 years, had at his side Charlie Ann for 49. He can go home now. And they have 4 children, 3 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. Certainly one of the stalwarts of track and field from South Florida and from the state of Florida. My pleasure to introduce and your recipient for the Jimmy Carnes Award, to be presented by Dick Roberts, Roosevelt Richardson.
Gotta look good, you know. Wow.
You're just okay.
Why, I don't know. That's what you always say. Okay. Got it.
Good afternoon.
I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who was first in my life. I want to thank him for giving me such great grandparents, which meant that I had great parents. My father was not a lover of athletics. Thank God for my mother. I kind of found out early that Dad ruled the household, but Mom called many of the shots. So I was happy about that. My mother thought that I should spend all of my time in the books. That's what counts. Well, being a student at Miami Northwestern, we came from Dulce Junior Senior High School, and we moved to Miami Northwestern. I was a band boy and a basketball player. I thought I was going to be an outstanding basketball player. But in the school year 1958-59, we got a coach at our school by the name of Coach Benny Moore, who was an assistant football coach, but the head track coach. And I don't know how today Coach Benny Moore talked the group of us into coming out for track and field. We had a unit in track and field, and we didn't have a track at Northwestern. So Coach Moore laid out a grass track. And we went from one thing to another. So we got to the jump. We got to the high jump. And we had some sawdust over there and a pit. That was the pit. And the standards. So he asked me one day, he said, well, Richardson, say, after you get through with basketball, come out. Some of the boys are going to gather. So I went out, and we all jumped. And I found out that they couldn't jump. Some of them got a little upset with me, but they couldn't jump. I was a jumper at practice. So quite naturally, after basketball season, I went out for track. But the most funniest thing, Coach Benny Moore got us all new warm-ups. We were going to district. And we got to Dillard High School, and I saw some hurdles. I'd never paid any attention to them before in my life. You know, I'd go over to the pit and we'd run. But I went over there, and I came back and told Coach Moore, I said, Coach Moore, enter me in the hurdles. And he said, Richardson, for what? We don't have no hurdles at school. I said, you don't know nothing about hurdles. I said, but enter me in the hurdles. I could do that. So I convinced him. He went into the selection meeting. He entered me in the hurdles. When he came out, I had been priced. And I tripped. And we didn't have these synthetic tracks, you know. You know what kind of tracks we were running on, that almost like pavement. And his new suit was all torn up. And he looks at me and say, what happened to you? And I say, Coach, during my practice, I kind of tripped, but I didn't trip but once. He said, you know, I knew I was crazy to let you talk me in. Well, I tell you what, they shot the gun, and I didn't do anything but win my heat. In the lows and in the highs. In the finals, I was leading, but somebody hit a hurdle next to me, and when they hit the hurdle, I jumped straight up. And I didn't want to fall no more. And I finished like second in the race. I went to college on a music scholarship. And I meant, if my folks would have had the money, I'd have gone to Juilliard. That was my dream. So I was in Grambling world class band. We weren't world class at that time. I was in the band. I was section leader. And I participated in the interview. And Coach Tom Williams saw me. And he talked to me, and he caught me in the gym. The basketball coach caught me in the gym at the same time with a track coach. And I had told the basketball coach I didn't want to play no more. And I was hell-bent on not playing basketball no more. So when they caught me at the same time, the basketball coach told the track coach, don't mess with that boy don't want to do anything. Sometime today, I think they ran a game on me. They had gotten together. So to make the basketball coach into a lie, what did I do? I went out for track. I quit the band, went to track. Well, that was a lot of difficult work in college. In high school, we had fun. And track, it was work. I would get to the meets, and I would walk up to the bar, and I would measure the bar, the opening height, by my height. I would go up there in the bar. The opening jump is taller than I am. So took a lot of work, and I had a wonderful coach called Tom Williams. Never gave up on me. You all, some of you older guys might remember that name from Coach Tom Williams becoming the first black player personnel director with the Houston Oilers. Well, he never gave up on me. I think at the end of the line, maybe I got disenchanted when he did not carry me to the National League in 1963. I was ranked during a period of time in 1963 as the third best high jumper in the United States. And I was beaten at the conference meet. I was defending champion, and the school wouldn't let me go to the national championship meet, back to the championship meet. So I told my teammates, well, I'm not coming back here next year. Say, next year is the Olympic year, and I like to have a legitimate chance of making the United States Olympic team. So I came up with this plan as a youngster. What I'll do is go to the armed forces. And I should be through with basic, and then I'll go to indoor season and outdoor season. I should have a shot, because I've already made the qualifying jump for the Olympic trials. But I got this all planned. I get down to the induction station with my bag packed. I done bid everybody in the neighborhood goodbye. See you after basic. And for some reason, they didn't take me. Sometimes youngsters make great plans, and it just turned out to be a plan. So I had no way of getting to the trials. I jumped in the meet down at UM1. I might have jumped 6 feet 11. 6 feet 11 was my best jump. And my coach heard about it, called me, asked me to come back to school and train and go to the trials with them. I told my coach to tell my teammates, don't tell them I'll see them at the trial. I didn't have no way of getting to the trials, but my pride got involved. So I did not get to the trials. But the good thing, my coach didn't hold that against me, and he did what he could to get me back in school so I could finish. I didn't have but a year to go. They got me back in school, and the night of the final Olympic trials, my teammate, we were down at Coach's house watching it. My teammate called to let Coach William know that he had just made the team in the 200 meters. They flashed the high jump on, and I shall never forget, the third place height was 6 feet 8. My coach looked at me and said, well, Hoss, you missed it, because they jumped off of your favorite surface, and the height was only 6'8". I had a comeback. I said, don't worry about it, Coach. In 1968, I'm going to call you just like Richard did, and I'll be on the team. By 1968, I had married this lovely young lady sitting back there, my wife, and we had a daughter, and I wasn't thinking about track, not as an athlete. I was working. There were two things, and I'll get out of here. There were two things that I said I would never do. I'll never teach, and I'll never coach. I'm going to be a YMCA worker for the rest of my life. And don't ever say what you won't do, because the Lord will make you do exactly what you say you won't do, and then make you love it. I fell in love with teaching, and I certainly fell in love with coaching. And those two things look like I just can't get away from, because when you coach, you teach. before I get where I can't go home, my lovely wife has been by my side for 49 years, and she'll never ask me, when I say I'm going to track meet, she'll never ask me a question about it. What I did was carry her to Florida Relays back in about 1962 with me. I didn't carry her with the team. I had a cousin drive her up, she and my girls. And she asked me at the end of the day, she said, do you do this each meet? And I said, yes. She said, well, I tell you what, go right ahead. In other words, she had had enough. And I I tell you, I want to thank Coach, and wrapping it up, I want to thank Coach Benny Moore for coming to Miami Northwest and always asking, where would you say? I was in the service. I couldn't tell Uncle Sam what to do. I want to thank Coach Benny Moore. I want to thank my good friend, Coach Louis B.